Right, good evening everyone. Welcome to Hilly Stream for Tuesday night with WAOF1. We're here for the, well, obviously Tuesday night division, and we are at Singapore. Um, so before qualifying 50% race at Singapore, and I'm just getting Chris in, who we're going to be having a chat to today. It was going to be Admiral, but there's a reason why I've changed to Chris right at the death there. I did check with Admiral if he didn't mind, and he was a bit upset, but you know he you know he, he went to cry in a corner basically, but that's fine. That's fine. He'd be okay for the race. So instead of Admiral, we've got Chris, and he's hopefully with me now.
Hello.
Hello. Hang on, I don't know if I've changed it to be able to include your stream yet. Your voice. Oh yeah, I have. If you tick your
I've
box in the
I've
party
ticked
chat.
it.
Excellent,
All
good man.
ticked.
Right, so let's let everybody know the reason why I am speaking to you and not Admiral tonight. So happy birthday, Chris. Happy 30th birthday, Chris.
Thank
So
you.
big birthday. Are you happy to be 30?
Well, we'll see. See how tonight goes, right?
Well, it doesn't matter about the fun, does it? It just, whatever happens tonight happens. Have you had a drink at all?
Yeah. I have had a beer, yes.
You have had a
Obligatory.
beer. Oh, okay, good, excellent. So driving under the influence. Um, brilliant, brilliant. Let's hope you don't get any incidents.
Can't prove it.
Right, have to breathalyse you. Who lives close to you? We'll send them round with a breathalyzer. Um, right, okay. Welcome in a way. So, just first of all, give us a quick update and sort of your take on how your season's gone so far.
It's not been going great, to be honest. I got the pot one curse, I think, moving up from, was it pot three in Sundays and Thursdays, and yeah, now it's kind of like all going to pot now. I'm at the top, so not
Okay.
too great, but I'm still there. I'm still within the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got the standings in front of me. You're currently sat fourth in the driver standings, so you're doing pretty well. Um, and let's be honest, Wales in P3, so you're going to get ahead of him at some point.
Let's
He's
do
only
it
one
tonight.
point ahead of you, so yeah, by the end of tonight, I'm sure you'll be at least third. Um, and constructors wise, what are you Alpine? Um,
McLaren,
oh, sorry, McLaren. Okay.
buried down the bottom somewhere, because
Yeah, you're in P7 at the moment, so pretty close to Haas. So you've got a chance actually of getting ahead of Haas tonight and up to P6, but you've got a little bit of a chase on your hand then to catch those ahead. Um, Still a three-horse race though in that at the moment. Singapore tonight, Chris. You love Singapore, right? One of your favourites?
I do if it's dry. I don't really like it in this wet in the wet. I don't like any track in the wet.
No, well me. I'm with you on that. Tracks they all suck in the wet. Um,
Yeah.
what do you like about Singapore? What's your favourite parts of the track, or what about the track do you like?
I really like nailing that middle, the twisty bit in the middle, going over the bridge. If you can get it right, it just feels so good. And the whole lap, to be fair, if you hit it all perfect, you just feel so rewarded for it.
Yeah,
Still slow, but feels better.
it's
Feels
it.
better.
Despite the changes they've made to the track, it's still one of the longer laps of the season. So naturally, if you nail a lap, over one of these longer laps, it is pretty rewarding. You're right. What sort of times are we looking at for quali? Do you think for pole position?
Tonight, I've gone on to get and tell you I've done like 10 minutes practice tonight.
Okay, no worries. Okay, what is your goal for quality position wise?
I just want to get into Q3 to be honest tonight. I don't think
Q.
it'd be anything too amazing. Uh, Especially, I might be like still like top six if it's perfectly
Yeah,
dry. But to be honest, aim for Q3 and then maybe a couple of overtakes in the race and then top five.
yeah, and now strategy as well, because I think that's pretty important around Singapore.
Yeah,
You've got to be able to react to your situation on the track around here, aren't you? Because you don't want to get stuck behind someone who's really struggling on their tyres, for example. So, um, quick note on your teammate Josh. What can we expect of him tonight, do you reckon? Because the reason I'm asking this because we were in Monaco a couple of weeks ago and he absolutely smashed it in Monaco. particularly in qualifying. So another street track tonight. Do you reckon we can maybe see the same from him?
I hope so. Yeah, it'd be good to just get him good qualifying position, and then hopefully just at least maintain it in the race, and then some good points for the McLaren. Bring it to the constructors then.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll also
And
be
hopefully,
handy as well, especially for like strategy, if he's a little while back, and then we can hopefully make some moves.
yeah. Big news to announce this week is for those people watching, and I can see he's in the chat actually to watch the race with us. But Steersy has dropped his seat from, let's be honest, walking a championship. So what he's done there is really good from him, because he's basically opened up the championship in terms of the drivers and the constructors, and you've got to be in there yourself with a shout. Potentially, it could be anything up to like sort of a 6, 7, 8 horse race at the moment.
Yeah, I think it really opens up, doesn't it? Well, if James and Guna can put each other in a wall today, then I think it'd be a really exciting end of the season.
Okay, well, James is in the chat as well, actually. So, James, there you are. If you can stick Guna in a wall, kill yourself in the
And
process,
himself.
that would be absolutely splendid. Yeah, because they do have an advantage at the moment, don't they? But it's it's a close enough advantage that a couple of a bad race from each of them could potentially see it really, really tight at the top. As it's your birthday, he says, I think he's going to do it for you.
Good.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Right, okay. So, what time are we now? It is 8 o'clock. Before we go, just one last thing then. As I said, it's your 30th birthday, so what is your birthday wish? Away from F1, what is your birthday wish? Nothing too private, please. I'm thinking something along the world of like world peace or something like that here.
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Lots of things I wish could go right this year, but I'm hoping for a good year. Last year was a bit up and down, so hopefully a good year all round would be nice.
Yeah,
both racing and kind of
you're a
outside
new
racing.
father as well, aren't you? So, still, I would still say new father. I don't think. How old's the little one now?
3 months.
3 months.
Still young.
Yeah. So yeah, still learning and still going strong. Not getting much sleep, I assume.
Sleep's alright actually. Last night was a bit worse because bottle of wine and stuff, but yeah, sleep's not too bad.
Well,
It's just
sorry, the baby had a bottle of wine.
yeah, of course.
Wow.
I was on the milk.
You had his milk, he had the wine. Unbelievable. All right, mate. Well, look, they're loading into qualifying. I'm going to let you go. Happy birthday. Many happy returns. And I hope you have a good race and put some pressure on James and Gunnar.
Cheers. Yeah, it was good to be here, and yeah, we'll hope for a good one.
All right, then, mate. Well, good luck. And I'll hopefully be singing your praises in Discord later.
Cool. Cheers. Speak to you later.
See you later, Chris. So, everyone, that was Chris. Thank you to Chris for coming and having a quick chat with us before quali. I hope he's all right, and I hope he's not had too many birthday beers before we get going. I know they do drugs tests on the drivers. I don't know if they actually bother doing breathalyzers or not. I don't know. But maybe they'll have to start. Right, okay, so... My dad in the background just said it's only a game. I'm Dad, we're trying to pretend it's not, okay? It's part of the illusion. Yeah, absolutely, Steers. I like having a chat so everyone gets to know everyone a little bit. I used to do them all the time, and I used to do like podium interviews after. They just sort of died away. I don't really even know why. I think knowing me, I probably just got a bit moody and didn't want to talk to people. That's most likely. I won't bother bringing it. Well, actually, no, we will have the tyres up in Q1 because some people do use mediums or hards. So we'll keep those up. Of course you could. Only if you got an Xbox, Steersy. Yeah, good night, Dad. Yeah, only if you got an Xbox. you would have to have an Xbox in order to join me on comms. I've tried with people that are on PC and PlayStation. It just doesn't work for some stupid reason. Their voice never comes through on the actual stream. But yeah, no, it does. It still doesn't work. I don't know why. I honestly have no idea. We could give it a test, but from what I know from trying with other people is that there's no way of you ticking to include your audio on the stream. Whereas people who actually join me on Xbox, there's a little tick box. Anyway, first out on track tonight is Boss Membrane, who I believe is back now and racing properly, and I believe he's taken a full time seat on, I think it's Sundays as well, so that's awesome. Yeah, I'm all for giving it a go, Steersy, to see if you can get it to work on your side, but I know there's nothing I can do on my end. And as I said, I've tried with someone else before and they couldn't work it out, so yeah, it is annoying because, you know, PlayStation has no issues with it, so I hope it's something that Xbox or Microsoft sort out at some point. Here we go then, let's go on board with Boss for the first hot lap of the evening. Steersy, I know you joined the quali practice, so what and I know you went fastest, what time did you do? Because we probably expect pole to be a little bit lower than what you're capable of doing. So what time did you manage in that practice at the end there? I know you went fastest because Admiral was fastest and he moaned when you went fastest in the party chat. Oh, looking like a pretty good start to the lap here from Boss. A little correction there. Just took a bit of pace out the car. Notice Boss is in hot lap mode. Maybe that's something he does on his first run. I don't know. That's generally not the way to do it this year. Saying that, he's got a massive amount of energy left for this point of the lap. Into the right left that takes us then onto the final corner, which is this long left-hander. Such an awesome corner, this. Probably my favourite final corner of the season, I reckon. Just so fun. 31.9 from Boss. Kev, his teammate, immediately goes 31.3. McLaren heading to the line. This is Chris. Oh, he's going to spin the final corner. And still goes fastest. So that's a bit gutting for the Astons, isn't it? Chris spins in the final corner, still goes fastest. Look at Ozers, 29.3 immediately. Gunnar, 29.5. Robin, 31.7. Who was that? Gregory, 29.5. Here's Watson. Just into the final sector. You got 27.9. So, birthday spins. Not physically giving the bump, so yeah, birthday spins, why not? Watson then 29.5 goes into P5 for the moment, really tight at the top there. Ozer's fastest 29.3, but look, 29.5 in P5, let just over 2 tenths off him. Somebody else jumped up then. That was Barry jumping up on a 29.999. What a lap. Rapid early in here, whereas Josh is a little bit further around, so let's switch to Josh. Really enjoyed the street track in Monaco a couple of weeks ago. Qualified P7 that night. If you remember Monaco, Josh and Beastie, who unfortunately isn't racing tonight, would you believe, by the way, we had 5 o'clock this evening, we had a full grid of full-time drivers, all 20 had signed up, and now we're actually racing. We've only got 16 with reserves on track. It's unreal. Actually, saying that, looking through the names, I don't think anyone is reserve. As Ozer's ego retires in the pits. Josh, 30.4. Okay, he invalidated it, so it's not counted, but that would have put him in P9. Diabianchi, is he going again, maybe? That's Merc. I think he's just come out of the pits and was out the way, but I think that would have been a little bit distracting, if I'm honest. Let's just see what he's like through sector 1. Of course, no time on the board, so I imagine he's going to complete a lap here, just so that he can get a time on the board as a delta. Under a bridge, definitely on the lap. It's no doubt about that. As D-Kit's joined, I was going to say I knew we had a reserve, and D-Kit was him. I'm not sure if we managed to get either of the others that had signed up to actually say they were going to race or not, but I was sure D-Kit had. So obviously he was just a bit late to quali, but he is here and there's time to do a lap. So see how D-Kit gets on. Josh then through the final corner, 31.2. We saw him go 30.4 on the first lap, so that gives you an idea of just how difficult it is on the tyres. But I do think he was a bit hindered in sector 1. Not really by the other driver, not by the Merc. I think the Merc was out the way. It's just really distracting. So it was more of a distraction than an actual hindrance. Chewbacca in the Williams that looks like a McLaren. So obviously 16 on track, D-Kit is in the midst of joining, so we'll be up to 17, which means we'll be losing 2 from qualifying in Q1. Just a little bit deep on the left-hander. You can really attack that left-hander because you could take so much curb on it. Then gets the car breakdown nicely for the hairpin. Maybe it ran a little wide exit-wise. Perhaps needed to just keep the turn in a little bit longer so that it could open the steering to put the power down a bit quicker. Ryanair goes fastest, 29.0. Chewbacca then heading into the final corner, throws it in nicely, keeps the power down, and 30.3 from Chewbacca, that's P11. Gives him a chance, for certain. Now, is Robin... Oh, okay, Robin's done 4 laps on these tyres, so it looks like Robin's doing a little bit of the old track acclimatization run, so he's not actually on a lap at the moment. I assume he's doing track acclimatization and then he's going to go for a hot lap towards the end. Gunnar back out there. Not sure why he's gone out again. One thing I am sure of, there's no way he's using fresh tyres here. He will be using the same set of tyres that he used on his first run. Gregory as well has also gone out again. Sure why Gunnar's completely backed out of that. Gregory is improving his time. That's 29.3 from Gregory. I mean, he goes P3, but did he really need to do that? Because I think that's a set of new tyres as he runs off to let the Aston through. So both Astons out there. Let's just see Boss through sector 1. So Boss 3.5 tenths up. Kev through the same split. 1.5 tenths up. So both Astons improving already. I think it's the nature of the laps, Stairsy. That's the only thing I can think of, is the nature of the laps. The length of the lap makes it feel longer. It's the only thing I can think of. D-Kit is finally in a car. And I'd say he does have enough time. Yeah, you're right though, Steers. It's 6.5 minutes still. Goodness me. I didn't see the split there from Boss. What's Kev's split? Oh, Kev's down, so something's gone wrong for Kev on his lap. Boss was 8 tenths up. That's a 31.1. That will put him just ahead of Josh into P13. But I'm guessing there's going to be more improvement here. There is indeed, so a second improvement in total. Still goes P13 just ahead of Josh. Robin's still on those same tyres. 5 laps in on those softs, they will be absolutely spent. Watson back out on a lap. Another driver I don't really think needs to be going out again. If you're in the 29s, I don't think you really need to be going out again, if I'm honest. I think you're safe, but that's the way it's shaping up. Watson improves 1/4 of a second, and that's enough to move him all the way up to P2. Rapid, just coming up to the final corner, currently in P11, so wants to see an improvement on that position, and he is going to. 29.4 moves him into P7, and that should be safe. D-Kit then, just starting a lap. Actually done the hilly hop lap yet. Yeah, I do, Steersy, you're right. When I looked up at the time, I was expecting to see maybe 2 or 3 minutes left, not 6.5. Still 4.5 now. Is it the longest day of the year or something? Because this feels crazy. D-Kit attacking the track quite nicely, but not. He's attacking the track, but he's not sort of all over the place or anything. He's keeping it nice and steady. His exits are pretty smooth. Maybe just the wrong angle on approach into that right-hander. I think that would have cost him a little bit. Gets a toe off of his Alpine teammate, Rapid. And that's 29.8 from D-Kit on his first run, so that puts him into P11. I said if you're in 29, you're probably safe. It's starting to look a little less like that, but it's still looking like that's probably the case. Barry, not into trusting Hilly though, so he's out again. And what we will do is we will do a Hilly hot lap with Barry when he comes round to start his second run. No, it's not Steers. Actually, short quality is the same length as Q1. They're both 18 minutes, so they're actually identical lengths. So it wouldn't make any difference. But no, it's definitely not. I definitely put it on long, on full, whatever you call it. So here comes Barry then, looks to take an angle that gives him a good acceleration down into turn 1, down to 4th gear. Oh, 3rd for Barry. Generally 4th or 5th you want to be through turn 1, and flat through 2nd and down to 2nd for the 3rd turn. 4th turn, just a little kink in a row. Turn 5, this awkward right-hander, which is all about the exit. You must get a good exit in order to take the speed all the way down the straight. DRS open. And into this late braking left-hander. Pretty nice that from Barry. Then down to 2nd for this right-hander. Open up the steering and get up so you can get the power down easier. And ooh, I thought that might have invalidated, but it's not. And through the left. And loads of curb on this left-hander. I think they've actually reduced the curb on the inside this year, but you can still take plenty of it. Round to this awkward break-in left-hand hairpin. Doesn't feel like a normal hairpin at all, but DRS open again, down to this right-hander. Use a bit of curb on the inside. Barry's just a bit deep in the break-in. And DRS again on this newer part of the track. Down to the right-left chicane, down to third gear. Use the curb on the exit to keep your steering open, but Barry just gets out of shape, and that's back to the pits for him. Yeah, I still think he's going to be safe, but we'll see. Because a lot of this could come down to the Aston Martins. Again, both Astons on track reasonably close together. Didn't get a split from either of them though, so I've got no idea if they're improving through sets of 1. Oh, boss! Oh, he's made a mistake. He needs to get out of the way before the McLaren are right. He should be out of the way, fine. As Barry retires out, that's in the pits. 8 attempts up for Josh through sector... Oh, that's sector 1, sorry. It's the other McLaren that was going through sector 2. Kev, unfortunately, is way down. Chris, way down. So, let's go to Josh then, because he's the one improving. Just wondering if Boss might just make the line. No, he didn't. Thought for a moment the Boss might have just got the pipped the flag to the line to get another lap in, but he didn't quite. So the two Astons in trouble because Josh is improving. Well, to be fair, it's not the two Astons that are in trouble. Boss is safe. He'll be pleased to hear after that spin. Kev definitely in trouble here. The improvement we saw in sector 1 from Josh is enough. So all he has to do is pretty much just drive the circuit. Doesn't really need to push to improve. Oh, he's a little bit out of shape on the final corner, but he's in the 29, so he's definitely through. And yeah, I went P12 in the end, so that does mean that Kev will be knocked out at Q1, so it's Robin and Kev, unfortunately, that we're going to lose at the end of Q1. Just for confirmation there. Boss getting through, very relieved after that spin in the right-hander. Ryan fastest in Q1, Watson 2, Ozers 3, Admiral in 4, Gregory 5, and so on and so forth. Race director, there's the incidents. It's all just speeding into the pits or crossing the pit line exit, or exceeding track limits, so no actual collisions or anything like that to worry about. As we head into Q2, and look, the weather's changed. It's raining. It's pouring. Well, it's not pouring actually, it's just a bit of light rain. I just wonder, right at the start of this session, is it dry enough still for slicks? Because it's only light rain. Let's have a look. Let's get the tyres up. Well, the game's automatically put everybody on intermediate, so I think that gives us the answer. Usually the game is right on the money with that. So if the game's saying intermediates, it's going to be intermediates. I believe that's Watson who's acting first, so we'll stick with him because that's who I'm on. So yeah, but I think we're going to see a flurry of drivers out because this might be the driest point of the session. If it's rain that's only just not long started, this could be the driest the track's going to be, and therefore the fastest. So I'm expecting everyone out. To be honest, they all need to get out quick. To be fair, you'll probably have a bit of time because it's the water that has fallen, of course, the rain that has fallen will be lying on the track, so they've not got a proper line on the track yet, so racing line, so you probably see the fastest times being done in 2 or 3 laps. What you wouldn't expect to see with any realism is the fastest times at the end of the lap, at the end of the session. Was that DRS disabled? Did someone just come up at the top of the screen? I missed it. I assume that's DRS disabled. So let's go on board then. I have absolutely no idea, Steersy. To be honest, I don't ask anyone. I prefer not to know. I prefer to keep it a bit of a surprise for comms. So Watson first onto a lap then. But that also means he's first to experience the track where you're actually trying to push. I always think when on these conditions, it's worth on your out lap actually driving properly and pushing a bit, because it just gives you an idea of where the grip is. That's the other reason that we'll probably see the fastest laps 2 or 3 laps in, because drivers themselves, of course, get used to where the grip is, etc., where they can push, where they can't. So naturally, their times tend to get better. Watson, in my opinion at the moment, making a good fist of this on his first attempt. Goes into the final corner and across the line then, so 42.0 from D-Kit. I think Gunner's going to cross the line 42.3, so Watson did actually go faster. I think that's D-Kit just catching the inside wall there. The McLaren behind of Josh getting held up for that. Whale 43.1, trying to find someone. Here we go, here's a Chewbacca. Oh. 44.8 from Chewbacca. James across the line. 42.3 puts him in P3. Here comes Ozers. 42.9 goes P5. Chris 43.1. Ryan has invalidated his first run. Switch to Barry. We're going to go out wide there. So 46.3 from Barry, but let's switch to Ryan because he's the only one that didn't actually get a time down, so I think he's definitely on a lap, other people probably not. Fastest in Q1 in the dry conditions. What's he able to do in the wet? Can he match that sort of scenario? But you can see already that the lap times 13 seconds slower. Considerable amount of time slower, even though it's only, well, it does seem a little bit heavier that it's raining now than it did when we were sat looking at the pit lane at the start of the session. So, can Ryan manage? Looks like it's going to be pretty decent. It's not right at the top, so P10. And a quarter of a second down is set to 1. Really waits till he had the car right underneath him before turning the overtake on, and now he's half a second down. So is the track slower? Well, Whale coming up to the last few corners. Struggled out of the chicane there. Very careful approach turning in, but yeah, I was not on a full lap. Whoever that was behind is into the pits, so let's go back to James then. James heading to the pits. Is this a concession that the track's just got too wet? Josh is invalidated, he's heading to the pits. Boss crossed the line, but he's going on to a lap. Just going to scroll through all the drivers, see if we spot anybody improving, but at the moment, the answer to that is no, we can't. So let's go to Boss, because he just started a lap. Oh, he's invalidated through the first 3 corners. It's looking, at the moment, like Q2 might be done, because nobody improving. Well, Otis definitely feels it is, because he's retired in the pits. Barry, no. Whale, he's 8 tenths down. That was just through sets of 1. Here's the set to 2 split, and he's 2 seconds down. It's looking like Q2 is cooked. The only ones you might see improving here are the guys really that are right at the bottom, that didn't manage to get their best attempts on the board. Yeah, Josh retires out in P11 because he clearly feels there's just no way to improve. If he felt there was any chance of improving, he would have been out, Josh. But it's clearly a lot wetter than it was at the start of the session. So D-Kit definitely got a lap on the board on his first run. That wasn't really what you'd expect from him. So if he can't improve here, this could be a long last 5 minutes for us, guys. Look, he's 8 tenths down. That's invalidated as well. Ryanair, I think, going out just to try and cover off any possibility of getting knocked out, but at the moment it's not really looking like that is a possibility. Admiral way down in sets of 1. He's invalidated anyway, but way down. Set to 2 for Gregory, and he's 4.6 seconds down. The track's cooked, guys. It's too wet. Well, he's sat in the pits with the full wets on. ready for Q3. Yeah, Gregory back to the pits, and I think that's where Admiral will be going as well. D-Kit has followed Gregory in. Chewbacca and Ryan both on outlaps. Chewbacca's closer to starting a lap. Gregory as well retires. He feels no chance. Certainly not going to begrudge anyone having a go when they're in the drop zone, especially. Why not? If you're in the drop zone, you've got nothing to lose. You may as well go out and give it a go. But yeah, look, Chewbacca, 2.5 down, just in sector 1, which, in comparison to the rest of the track, or the other sectors, and yeah, Admiral also a 2.5 down, so that's looking pretty consistent across the board. But yeah, it's as I was saying, if you are in the drop zone, I'm not going to begrudge anyone going out and having a go. Why not? The other possibility as well for these guys that are in the drop zone, if there is rain in the race, even if they're not going to get through quali, why not use it as a bit of rain practice? Rain, you know, wet running practice. And Gunner's back out on track. Perhaps the reason for that is because obviously Q3 is going to be similar to this, you'd imagine. So again, why not get a little practice running now? Should aid you in your first run, you'd think. Almost spins it. Sort of. Yeah, crawls across the line in the end. Admiral to the line then. Yeah, 6 seconds short of what he's done previously. Gunner coming up to the end of the lap. He was already at the time that he'd previously set earlier in the session when he was entering the final corner. Rapid, I'm back in the Tuesday division. You are Rapid. Nice to see you. And doing well. P4 safely through to Q3. Nice to have you back. Hopefully see some good racing for you tonight. I think you could do well on Tuesdays. You could do well in any of the divisions, to be fair, in WAOF1, but I think on Tuesdays you got a chance of competing right towards the front end. So we see Gunner struggling around the lap. Oh god, needs a rudder, I think, in these conditions. Rather than an engine. Bit wet, says well. Yeah, it is, mate. It is. It's a bit wet. Oh, Rapid repeated. He's back in the Tuesday. Yeah, you are Rapid. I heard you the first time. Come on in, Whale. It's a bit wet, mate. These are your sort of conditions. So, unfortunately then the weather has put paid to some drivers qualifying here. So we're going to see Josh, Chewbacca, Boss, Membrane, D-Kit and Barry leave us at the end of Q2. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely rapid. Well, he's done well again tonight. He's P11 on the grid. Seems to be faster on street tracks for some reason, does Josh? I don't know. I don't know whether he actually feels that's a thing or not. I don't know. But there we have it. So there's our drivers we've lost. Watson through as fastest by a few tenths over Gunnar. James third. Quickly go to race director and instance. They all are on the one page. Comfortably on the one page. Just in case, for any reason, the stewards need it. But I don't think they will, because nothing really happened. So in the Q3, which is another very, very wet affair. As you can see, you wouldn't expect it to change too much. Certainly changed a lot between Q1 and Q2. So, again, is it going to be a case of this is the fastest the track's going to be, it's just going to get worse and worse? Like in Q2? I don't think that's the case. I think at this point we're probably as wet as it's going to be. So, if anything, I would hope they might get a bit quicker as the session goes on once the racing line starts to appear. And of course the drivers get that little bit more use to the conditions. Sorry, excuse me. So, Gunnar, I'm just going to bring myself out of an Xbox party and back in again. Just bear with me. Here we go then. Gunnar crosses to do the first hot lap of Q3. Has a little twitchy moment across the line, which would have taken a little bit of speed out going down to turn one. The whole scheme of things, across a lap of this length in these conditions, it's not a large amount. It's not going to affect the lap too much. It's like he's getting a little oversteer to me at the moment. Can maybe do with just taking a couple of notches off the front wing. Front wing, not the only thing, of course, that can cause oversteer at all. Differential can have big effects on it, particularly the off throttle. But in terms of things that you can actually change at this point with part firme on, the obvious thing would be to just take a couple of notches of front wing off. But there again, go then down to the end of sector 2 and into the right-hander. Again, you can see a line on the track, so pretty well worn in already, that racing line. Should still get a bit better though as we go. Oh, These corners become so different in these conditions, don't they? 43.4 from Gunnar. Watson immediately after, 44.6. Got a Ferrari up next. This is Ozer's. Yellow flag's out. It's the other Ferrari. It's Whale. Oh, I think actually he's just slowing down for other drivers. 43.9 from Ozer. Splits the two that have previously gone across. Here comes Chris. 44.6. Ryanair 43.8. Nobody really near Gunnar yet. 44.3 for Gregory. Admiral 44.5. James coming up to the final corner. Can he do? 43.2 goes fastest. Rapid 43.3 goes into P2. Whale 58.4. You know, not really what you'd expect from a Whale in these conditions. Stick with him because I'd imagine he's going on to another lap. Again, just like Gunnar, really, just seems to be suffering a bit of oversteer, in my opinion here. My opinion may not be right, but that's what it looks like to me. I think Gunnar will be pretty happy because he's sat in P3 on that 43.4, and I think he will feel that there's plenty of time left in that. I don't think for a second that he'll feel that he's done the fastest he can there. Here's the Gunnar versus James championship reel. Now Steersy's left us. When I say left us, I mean Tuesday nights, not the league. He's going to be racing Thursday, so make sure you tune in for that on our new streamer, our new commentator, Gavin Bass. Very good commentator, so please do join Gavin on Thursday. Where you get to see the fastest drivers in the league racing. The standout being Carsey, of course, but plenty of others too. That's going to invalidate for Whale. It looked like it was a pretty decent lap. I'm just looking up the order. I think I'd have put him close to the top. Maybe even at the top. It would have been close for James, that one. And speaking of James, he's back on to another lap. Not one started it. So our current pole sitter in this pole position shootout. Can he improve his time to put everyone else under a little bit more pressure? Well, it looks like he can because he's 5.5 attempts up just in sector 1. So it looks like the track's evolving. So if Well can hear this, don't be too downhearted, Well, because the track is improving, as is Gunnar, who's just done 41.7. But what we're seeing already, well, James' improvement in sector 1 would already put him almost identical with Gunnar's time. Well, actually, it would put him about half a tenth ahead of Gunnar. So, assuming James is going to continue to improve through the lap, which we're about to find out, and he has taken another 4 attempts through Q2, through sector 2. His right left could be a little tricky. Could be tricky in the dry, this right left. So very awkward in these conditions, without a doubt. And that's a 42.007 from James. He doesn't go ahead of Gunnar. I think I was getting my maths wrong there. I do apologise, Gunnar. I was getting my maths wrong. I thought Gunnar had done a 42.7, not a 40... No, I didn't. 41.7. What? No, I wasn't getting my maths wrong. James just lost a load of time in the final sector. No, he didn't, did he? No, I did get my maths wrong. Gregory's just improved, that's all. Gregory has improved to P3. Here comes Watson into the last few corners. Two and a half second improvement puts him up to P2 on a 41.9. Go to Chris. He just started his lap, but I believe the only one on a hot lap. Ryanair might be, but he's just behind us on track. Watson gets himself out of the way. No, Chris isn't on a lap here. I think he's gearing up, because if he did a lap now, he wouldn't have the final lap essentially. So I think he's realised the time and is going to throw that lap in order to do a lap closer to the end of the session as the track's evolving. And you've got to think that actually maybe Ryan would be better served doing that as well. At the moment, he looks to be on it. Yellow flags. It's Chris behind us, I think, just driving slowly. He didn't stop moving at any point, so I don't think he spun. Sticking with Ryan, because he is on a hot lap as we head up to the end of Q2. Sorry, sector. Why do I keep saying Q2? Sector 2. 2 seconds up. Puts him within a tenth of Gunnar. So I think, barring any sort of major mistakes here, it's looking like Ryan's going to go provisional pole at the moment. To say, the track I believe is evolving. So there he goes, provisional pole 41.449. So he could potentially end up regretting doing that lap there rather than holding off. Where are we? Ooh, James might be in trouble. He's invalidated and has less than 30 seconds to get to the line from here. He's either in trouble or he's timed this perfectly. Gearing up for a final run. Let's go then to Watson, because he was first onto this lap. I'm just looking. Yeah, Gunnar and James have seen the checkered flag. They did not get onto a lap. Gunnar and James are in trouble. So a mistake from both Gunnar and James really opens this up now. Watson improving through sector 2. So he got then, as we head to the line, 41.6, that puts him P3. Ryan has invalidated, although I believe that was just that wasn't actually a hot lap. Chris, big improvement from Chris, 2.2 up at the moment. .41.6 goes P4. The two Ferraris are next. Ozer's first. So Ozer's 41.4 goes fastest. Whale 41.3 goes fastest. Here comes Rapid 41.5. Admiral. Is it Admiral's day? No, 41.7 is P8. James didn't make the line. Gregory is the only one on the lap, but he's way down. So that is it. It's a Whale pole. Whale has pole position. I knew these conditions would suit him. I don't know what's the bigger news, Whale pole position or a Ferrari 1-2, Whale and Ozers, the two owners, are 1-2. Do my eyes deceive me? Oh my word. It's a Ferrari and owners 1-2 in Singapore. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming. Go on, the lads. Ryanair be over the moon to still be P3, having completed his lap a little early. Gregory, very, very strong from Gregory P4. Rapid on his return in the top 5. Well done, Rapid. Look, with that mistake of not making the line, Gunnar and James will be starting this race P9 and P10. Is the championship opening up? Wow, what a moment. I believe, well, I'll have to be confirmed on this, but I think that might make WAOF1 history, because I'm not sure we've ever seen an Whale Ozers or Ozers Whale P1, P2. I don't think we've ever seen an owner's front row in the league before. Certainly did not expect that. But fair play to both, because they have both been driving so well recently that it's very much deserved. There's the incident. So it will be Whale on pole, Ozers alongside in 2, Ryan in 3, Gregory in 4. I will, of course, do the full grid rundown on the formation lap. What's happening here then? I agree, what is happening here then? And the good news, guys, is that it is dry. Although that might not be good news for the Ferraris, I don't know. Not after that quality performance, but I'm sure at Singapore they'd both rather it be dry, if I'm honest. But what is happening here? And owners 1-2 in WAOF1 for the first time in history. What is going on? Anyway, guys, at this point, as you all know, I just take a few minutes break. So I'll be back with you ready for the formation lap. Get yourself a drink or whatever, and then pop back to see what I think is going to be a grandstand race, especially with the Ferraris on the front row, the likes of Gregory and Ryan and Rapid be right behind them going into turn 1 and around the first lap, and Gunnar and James having to fight their way through from 9 and 10. It's going to be a good one. See you in a bit. Right, okay, I am back. I wonder if Oz has actually thought about the fact that he's just towed Whale across the line to steal his pole position. Right, on to the formation lap they go then, guys. So, oh, disqualifications, James and Chewbacca. Oops, that's going to give those two cold tyres at the start. So, here we go then. Here's the, well, let's start with the grid rundown. So, it's a Ferrari front row lockout. So, Wales starts on pole with Ozers alongside in 2. Ryan starts in P3 with Gregory in 4. Rapid F1 starts in P5 on his return with Watson alongside in 6. Chris in 7 with Admiral alongside in 8. The Gooner starting P9 with James in 10. Josh in a very good 11th place with Chewbacca alongside in 12. Boss Membrane starting P13 with DK in 14. Barry starts P15 with Kevin 16 and Robin bringing up the rear tonight, which is P17. In terms of tyres, the top 5 all starting on the mediums. Watson is the highest alternative to that, starting in P6 on the hard tyres. Chris in P7 on the mediums. Admiral, interestingly, is starting on the Redwood soft tyre here at Singapore. Gunnar, James and Josh, 9, 10 and 11 all starting on the mediums, while Chewbacca and Boss Membrane go with the hards. D-Kit starting mediums with Barry and Kev on the hards in 15 and 16, and Robin on the mediums at the back there. So, well, the biggest surprise I think there, you've got to say, is Admiral starting on the softs. Interesting, to say the least, really. Not a tyre you would expect to be used here at Singapore. It dies very quickly. I don't know whether that's a mistake from Admiral or whether he's got a special strategy in store for us. It's generally a one-stop race, so but I wouldn't be shocked to see a few two-stops through the field, maybe trying something different. Maybe that's what Admiral's doing, as he's a bit out of position in P8. But the lights are coming on. 4, 5 lights are on. Out they go. The Ferraris look like they get off the line pretty well. Ryan gets slightly alongside Ozers into turn 1. As we look through the field, Chris trying to take advantage of a little bit of stuff going on ahead of him. Rapid gets up to P3 at the start. Really good start from the Alpine driver. Looks like just skipping through the field quickly just to see that everybody does appear to have gotten through okay. So after the first few corners, it is Whale leading from Ozers. Rapid up 2 to P3. Ryan, Gregory, Watson and Chris battling away. Oh, there's a mistake. There's a Mercedes round. Admiral's round. Admiral's round. Admiral's out. I'm afraid he's gone round. I don't know what's happened to him, whether it's contact or whether he's spun on himself. I would be very surprised if it wasn't contact. But unfortunately, the onslaught of cars that have just come through after is completely torn his car apart. And that is unfortunately the end of Admiral's race this evening. Yellow flags out, D-Kit. Something's gone wrong for D-Kit there. There's going to be some damage through the field, guys. As I think a lot of drivers hit Admiral. So the end of lap 1, Wales leads. The biggest gainers are Barry and Robin, both up 4 places. James down 5. But the biggest story, I guess at this point, is that we've lost Admiral and Rapid on his return, up 2 places. So Will Ozers looks to defend the Ferrari ahead of him. We'll get back to the tyres now to remind ourselves. So at the moment, the top 5 are all medium starters. Watson, where he started in P6, still on those hards, but holding on to those ahead of him, which is exactly what he'd be needing to do at this stage of the race. So D-Kit back round to the pits. Managed to get back round. I can't believe he was the only one that's gotten damage. There's got to be some missing end plates through the field, surely. Well, there's one. That's James with a missing right end plate. McLaren looks... Aston, sorry, looks okay. Just look to assess some damage here, guys. Has Barry got... Yeah, Barry's okay. I thought for a second he was missing his right end plate, but he is okay. So is Josh and Chewbacca. Both seem to be okay. A little battle there, actually, so let's just hold on to that one a moment. Josh trying to get past Chewbacca, both in the top 10 as it stands. Has Josh got a run here? Down to turn 1. Not quite, but should. As long as he can stay pretty close to the back of Chewbacca, you'd feel he'd get a run up to turn, I can't remember which one it is, turn 6. It's either turn 6 or 7, this left-hander that's coming up. He's going to move to the outside. They are side by side going into the left-hander. Really good racing from both of them, no contact whatsoever. But Josh round the outside. Chewbacca leaving the room and makes the inside of the corner very, very well. Good move. That'll be one for the highlight reel for Ryanair. Himself is just struggling a little bit to stay in the 1 second of the guys ahead. Ferrari's looking pretty comfortable so far. Yeah, Sturzy, it did look bad. Absolutely no idea what caused it. As I say, I mean, you would assume with everybody so close at the start around here that he's maybe got a whack from the back and got spun round, but you can never, you know, I haven't seen it. You can never be 100% sure he could have spun it on his own. I doubt that. So, yeah, Ryan has dropped out of the 1 second and is just dropping back a little bit. Interesting to note in a moment, obviously, going off to the better start between him and James, with James dropping down the order, but not able to do much about those directly ahead of him at the moment. Here we are on board with Gunnar then, watching him battle with Chris. Say it's not the easiest place to overtake, simply because you can't really go with the idea of running lower wings than anyone else, because you need the basically maximum wings in order to be fast around Singapore. So it can become a little bit of a stalemate and very difficult to overtake around here, especially when you've got drivers that are on such similar skill levels. Move going on ahead. And I think that was Ryanair getting... No, I don't know what that was. Is it Gregory defending from Watson? I think. Are we going about to go 3 wide? We got... Well, we got 4 cars. Two pairs of side-by-siders. Watson alongside Gregory. They are going to continue battling into the right-hander, as are Gunnar and Chris. Oh, I'd give to have an aerial helicopter shot of that. But it looks like Watson gets past Gregory and Gunnar gets past Chris. Nice bit of racing from all four drivers there. That looked good, clean and fun. Here's Watson on lap 5 of this race, maybe already seeing a little bit of a tyre advantage on those hards. It is a high wear track, Singapore, but it's not to the point of needing to two-stop it. So the hards do definitely gain an advantage over the mediums quite quickly, but then of course Watson will need to do quite a substantial amount of laps after everybody else pits, so he's going to get undercut quite severely and then have to come back through again when he's on the nice fresh mediums later in the race. But the top three at the moment pulling away from Ryan in fourth. At the moment, not anything really that Rapid could do about the two Ferraris. Are they actually working together? Is well driving at a pace to keep Ozers in his 1 second to give the other Ferrari DRS. If I'm Ozers, I'd actually say to well, no, if you've got the pace, go. But obviously, it does make it a lot easier for Ozers to keep the Alpine behind him if he's got DRS as well. As Watson starts to just about edge into the 1 second of the RB. Admiral. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Tough one, that. What actually made you spin, mate? Did you get a knock from behind or something, or did you drop it on yourself? Or I've kind of made the assumption you probably got a hit from behind. As Gunnar makes the move on Gregory. Gregory will get the DRS down the longer straight, so is Gunnar going to be able to hold him off? He doesn't have much battery to do it with. Yeah, once that battery dies on Gunnar, look how easily Gregory gets alongside. Room given from both drivers. Gregory will have the inside at the slow right-hander, and he gets the place back. Good driving again from both drivers. Some really good battles going on tonight. Really enjoying this. The unfortunate thing, Admiral, as well, is he was clearly very fast for qualifying in the dry, going by the practice sessions, and then it went wet, and unfortunately you were probably further down the order than you really should have been in P8, and so you're in the field, and those things happen, I guess. Never mind, it's one race. Gutted for you, but it is one race. Watson to the outside of Ryanair. Oh, did Ryan leave enough room? I'm not convinced he did. But he definitely had enough room there, Watson, but definitely ran off track. So he must have picked up at least one warning through those corners. If he picks one up at turn 1 and 2, I think he might have an argument for having the warning removed. because it didn't look to me like he had enough room to keep Will on track. But turn 3 on the exit, he definitely had the room. So, but I think it's further proof, because he was 2 seconds behind Ryan when he got past Gregory. It's further proof to us that right now Watson's hards are the fastest. Well, anybody on hards at the moment are on the fastest tyres at this stage of the Grand Prix. So, the top 3. Oh, sorry, I'd actually missed that Ozers went past Whale. I completely missed that, but the Ferraris have switched drivers at the front. So Ozers leads, and just momentarily, he did drop well out of DRS momentarily. It's I think he's allowed his teammate back in, as the Ferraris look to me like they are working together very well here. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, by the way, with James dropping down at the start, this is a great chance for Ferrari to really eat into RB's lead. Yeah, absolutely. I know. I get what you mean. Yeah, that's the thing with the first lap DNF, isn't it? So, I think people would be split on that. Some people would say, well, if I'm going to DNF, I'd rather it happen straight away so I can get on with the rest of my night. But like you say, now it's a kind of what could have been, especially as you'd clearly gone with an interesting strategy, as you mentioned there, starting on the soft. So I'm assuming that did mean a 2-stop. And we got yellow flags. We've got yellow flags, and I believe it was Boss Membrane. Yeah, he's missing his left end plate. He's made a mistake in the right-hander, which I believe is where we saw him spin in qualifying in Q2, I think it was. No, Q1, wasn't it? Q1, right at the end of Q1. So, first pit stops. Josh and James are in. Josh and James. Josh and James. Josh and James. Do 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 do. Don't know why that came into my mind. Josh on his way. Looks like he's got a few seconds over James at the moment. So you've got to assume from James's point of view, this is an attempt to undercut his way towards some of the drivers a bit further up. So, Rapid still following the Ferraris, but Watson has now joined that battle as well. Oh, Watson completely out of shape. Manages to save it just before hitting the wall. That would have been a little... I can imagine his stomach probably dropped for a moment there. Clearly cost him tongues. It just momentarily drops him out of the DRS range. So Watson at this point, I'd imagine, will be thinking to himself, why can't you guys all pit? Please just all drive in the pits. Because he's currently the fastest man on track. Well, may not be in a moment when James and Josh come around to complete their laps, but... So actually, Josh has 6.8 seconds over James at this moment in time. Didn't look that when they were exiting the pits, did it? But it's obviously one driver starts driving off at speed when the other's still going slow. As could we see? Well, this is the other interesting thing here. Ozer's now being the lead Ferrari. Technically, gets to pick his stop lap. Having said that, I believe he made a choice last week, so I would if they're doing it fairly, I would assume it's Wales' choice this week. But if I know well, he'll probably turn around to us and say, when do you want to pit, mate? Because he's like that as well. He's a gentleman. One thing I can tell you, one of them surely will be stopping this lap. It's just which one. I'd be amazed if they both drive around again. Yep, Wales in. Whale in from P2. Rapid continues. Watson, of course, continues. Gregory continues. Ryanair is in. Gunnar is in. Chris is in. Chewbacca continues on. So, where does Whale come out here? Oh, I'm trying to get onto him, but he keeps swapping around. Wait, I don't think he's going to beat that Haas, which is Robin. And is the Aston going through as well? Yes, it did. So, well, it's not great for Whale, but it's not disastrous. I think the only thing for Whale here is he could get stuck here behind Kev through... He does have DRS, but he's too far behind, I think. He could get stuck here behind the Aston, and that is not ideal. Fooled about it. He thought about launching it on the slow right-hander, but was absolutely correct to back out. I hate to say it, but I think he's going to be stuck until they get round past the hairpin. It's not the outlap that Well would have been dreaming of. He'd have been dreaming of clean air. Well, hasn't really got a very good exit at the hairpin. So into the pits is Ozers and Rapid. Well, once it's done, he needs past. To the inside, gets through nicely and cleanly. As there's a yellow flag out, that's D-Kit. He's already back on his way, so no point in going down to that one. But Ozers is on the exit. Rapid's on the exit. Here comes Whale. This is going to be tight. I think Whale's going to go through, but it's so tight. So Whale does go through. So through the pit stops, the Ferraris do hold the 1-2. But I'm telling you, if Whale wasn't stuck behind Kev on that outlap, he'd be in first right now, and probably a good second or two up the road. Big moment for me in the race, but the main thing is that the Ferraris have held 1-2. Yeah, if you want Admiral. Sorry, I've only just seen that. I don't know when you wrote it, but yeah, absolutely. I'll send you a party invite. According to mine, you're not on. I've sent you a party invite, Admiral. I don't know whether you're just showing offline or not, but so is there anything Rapid could do about the two Ferraris now? But it's as you were. So, but right now, right at this moment in the race, the hard starters are leading. So Watson leads, Chewbacca in P2, Barry P3. See, then the guys that were leading 3 pit stops, so they will be catching quickly. So, hello, Admiral. Oh, I can hear you. Are you actually on your Xbox or not? Yeah. So I don't know if You'll come through on the stream. Hang on. Yes, we can hear you. You come up. I heard the ahoy hoy. Excellent. Right. Okay. Then we got a load of dead air while I was actually waiting for the stream to catch up to hear that I could hear you. Okay. Unlucky, obviously, for the start there. These things happen, but you know, obviously it's going to be gutting for you because you were showing serious pace in the practices before the race. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, I know you've typed in the chat what happened, but just give us a little description. Oh, Stairsey's saying he can't hear you. Oh, hang on. Did I say ahoy hoy after you said ahoy hoy? Maybe it was me saying ahoy hoy. I don't know. Yeah, because I think on the app there's nowhere you can sort of tick a box or anything to include your audio on the stream. Oh, damn. All right. Well, it was a nice idea. Okay. All right then. No worries. Okay. Yep. Gunnar looking to make a move on Ryan. Oh, was that big contact? Oh, Gunnar's round. No, it's not. It's Barry. Wow, that was confusing. So we saw Gunnar overtake Ryan, and then saw Sauber rounding into the wall, which I assume must have been Gunnar, but it was actually Barry. Front wing off, and he's luckily pretty close to the pits, so it's still going to have a massive effect on his race, but at least it's minimal compared to what it would have been. It's, at the moment, Rapid has gotten past Wales, so he's now split the Ferraris. But don't discount Watson from this race because he's holding strong pace at the moment still. I think Watson's right in this. Just send Admiral another invite. There we are, so he should have that once he gets on his Xbox. It should be there for him. If it's not Admiral, just let me know in the chat and I'll send you another one. So, got a whole train of cars here. And yeah, we've got a whole train of cars and they are all on... Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were all pitted or not. So, they are. We've got a massive battle for this race win right now. So, hopefully Admiral's back on his Xbox and can tick the box.
Yeah, tick the box. I should be.
Excellent. Good man. Excellent. Chewbacca into the pits. So, that'll be this group of cars now running in P2. 17 seconds away from Watson. So, Watson's definitely going to come into the fold later in the race when he gets to fresh mediums. But, it's going to be hard for him because this train of cars for the race win has gone from P2 to P7. Well, P8, I mean, Gregory's only just out of 1 second, so... Wow, what a
seen it done before, really. At the moment. I've seen a two-stop win here, and if you've got those fresher tyres, the overtaking's easier than you think. There's absolutely a good chance that Watson, with his fresh tyres, can make a few good overtakes. You know Watson, he likes to get his elbows out. He could be elbowing his way past a few drivers here.
Yeah, He's only just, these last 2 laps, he's really starting to hemorrhage time now. Before that, he was keeping up a really good pace. So I don't know what lap he's intending on stopping, but ideally, if he can get the mediums to the end, it would be now, really, because...
Medium to the end from now is a little bit tight, but he could be able to do it. I would expect him latest lap 20. I don't think you want to... You want to pit between lap 18 and lap 21, I reckon. For the softs, for the medium, sorry. I'm not sure they'll go much longer on that.
He's in. So, that group of cars will go past. It's not a particularly long pit stop around here. It's pretty short, so... It's the shortest pit lane of the season. Did you know that, Admiral?
I didn't know that, no.
Pit lane.
Pit loss is still quite... Yes, pit loss is still quite significant here. It's not as... There's some tracks that definitely the pit loss is 16 seconds. I think it's up to about 20 seconds here.
Yeah. Just seeing a McLaren coming through turn 1. Watson would love to be ahead of him. And he is just about. So, Josh seems to have a little moment coming out of turn 3 there. Is Josh going to get a run on him with DRS? I don't think so. He's not actually trying. He's using hot lap down the straight, but not using overtake. So, well, here we go then. It's the Watson fight back. The only thing pitting this early though, Admiral, how long will the mediums actually be better for? I can't imagine they're going to be the better tyre all the way to the end of the race.
So, I know from my data, I think mediums to 80% last 14 laps. Now, that'll be slightly longer at the end of the race anyway. But he could only have a tyre advantage for 5-6 laps before he catches up with those hards. The hards wearing so slowly, like I said it quickly in your comments, but I think they do 24 laps. So I think these hards are wearing so slowly that yes, he will have superior grip, but I'm just not sure he'll have has he got 8 seconds off that pack? He might catch the pack pretty quickly. Will his tyres have gone off by then? I would expect so.
Yeah, that's a good question. Here comes Chris on the outside of Ryanair down to turn 1. Ooh, did Ryan jump the corner there? It looked tight.
I think Ryan would just be okay with that. I think he'd got away with the warning. The way the game works is that if you have one tyre on the tarmac, you can cut a corner. With the other 3, you can jump your whole inside of your body of the car across the corner. But as long as one tyre has contact within the white line, he'll be fine. So I think he will be okay with the warning there.
Here they are again. Yeah, a little bit of contact there, maybe push Chris wide, but they're still side by side into the slow right-hander and going into the fast left-hander. Following that, I think Ryan's got him. It's pretty tight still. Oh no, Chris has got him. Okay, Chris held him off. Or got him. I can't remember who was the actual car in front at the start of it. So, either Chris has made an overtake or he's held Ryan off. One or the other.
Yeah, Ryan was trying to overtake there, so I think he's done well. But through that, Watson got 3 seconds. That's definitely, even if he gets through the pack now, I think he's at the back of the pack by the flag with that 3 second.
Yeah. There is a chance, though. There was a moment earlier on where I did say there's a potential warning he might be able to get removed. So, I don't know if he did, because it was a strange one, because turn 1 and 2, I felt he was forced off track. But then he also went wide on turn 3 when there was plenty of room, so it depends when the warning, what he got it for. He might have got 2 at the same time, I don't know. So, there he flashes up with fastest lap, as you kind of expect. This is... I don't think this is a massive battle for the race win. Obviously, that battle between Chris and Ryan has meant that Chris is just outside the 1 second.
It could almost do him benefits, though, being outside that second. You think outside of 7/10, you don't get dirty air. So his tyres are actually going to be in a better condition. His engine temps are going to be in a better condition. So down those straights, he's now going to have more power than Ryanair down those straights because of the engine temps. He's outside of those 7/10 from Guna.
Yeah, so in terms of fighting off Ryanair, it can help him. Maybe, if he can get back onto that pack later in the race, then he might be in a better condition. Oh, not if he does that too much, though. That was a mighty slide.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's done well to keep hold of that.
He has. Yeah. That certainly wouldn't have done that rear tyre much good.
No, just as I start talking about him doing well tyre saving.
Here we are. These gaps though, the front three, 8 tenths and 9.5 tenths now. Wyle needs to be in the 1 second, otherwise Schooner's going to eat him up.
At Singapore, that 8-9 tenths is going to be perfect, because you're not getting the dirty air, but you're getting the DRS. But Wyle needs to get a move on here, otherwise he is going to lose out to Gooner.
Yeah, I don't think Gooner's going to try here. He's going to leave it for the longer straight. The only thing with Gooner, well, I was going to say the only thing with Gooner is that he uses so much battery, he doesn't keep it for overtaking, but Wales used his as well, so they're in the same situation. Neither of them get a particularly good exit going onto the straight, but I think Gooner is going to get alongside. Here we go, and yeah, through goes Gooner. So up to P3 now for the Cyberman, who's started the race didn't go too brilliant. It wasn't bad, but he didn't make the moves early on, but it's coming towards him later. Watson, having a great race, by the way, in P9.
Oh, fair play to him.
Holding James back at the moment. Obviously has the fresh mediums compared to James's hards. But do you know what happened to James? Was he one of the drivers that got caught up with you?
I would expect so. So if we're just going to segue into this quickly, then yeah, that lap one was absolute mess. Going down the straight, you had Watson apparently moving in the braking zone, which caused Chris to jump out, caused me a bit of funkiness behind, and then into the next corner, Chris and I locked tyres, allows Gooner to get alongside. Fast left-hander down to your squiggly section. I felt like Gooner just kind of cut it a bit tight, didn't leave me much space on the inside, and spun me. And after that, just no cars were looking at the yellow flag, and I just had car after car after car hitting into me. I think it must have been the last car in the road just come through and took my tyre off. So, I've gone through all this crash, I've been spun out, I've had loads of cars hit me, and it's the last car that comes through that takes my tyre off.
Of course, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I only got onto it in time, basically, to see the cars piling into you. So I wasn't sure what happens initially to start with, but had sort of guessed that you'd got in contact.
Yeah. I think Gunnar expects me to back out the inside of it. Ooh.
And your Mercedes teammate is round.
No.
So
That's a shame.
I'm sure he had somebody alongside him. So was Watson overtaking?
He definitely was in Watson's rear left that spun him round.
Yeah, so that might be one to be looked at. I don't know if I mentioned it on comms, but Rapid at some point has picked up a penalty here, which gives Ozers even better chance. Ransdale, welcome into the chat. Ozers leads, indeed, he does. He's led most of the race. Whale did get pole and led the very early laps, but they switched around. It just looks to me like Whale is struggling on his tyres more than Ozers. It just seems to be the difference in the race. He did pit a lap earlier than Ozers, but I don't think that's the real difference. I think he's just seeing a bit more wear. Because it seemed the same on the mediums as well. Where else can we go? Ryanair, Chris and Watson. Watson tries to get through. Obviously anybody he overtakes, he also needs to get 3 seconds up the road from as it stands at the moment.
What an improvement by Ryanair this season.
Oh, without doubt, yeah. He's having a really good season, and it's definitely made leaps and bounds forward. I've raced him a few times on Sundays, and yeah, he's definitely one of the standout improvements of the season, I think, within the league.
Oh, yes, with his new graphics guru title as well. All these new graphics that are coming through for the league, they are looking really good as well.
Yeah, Here comes Chris. They're alongside again. Still been battling pretty much non-stop. Bit of contact between the two, and Watson's going to try and take advantage, and he does. So in the end there, Ryan loses 2 places to Chris and Watson. And that's going to leave Chris vulnerable to Watson. He thinks about it at the inside at turn 1, but backs out. He'll have the opportunity, of course, along the main straight, although Chris currently has about a 40% battery advantage.
That is a rarefied commentator line of Watson backs out of the overtake.
Yeah, I don't find myself saying that too often. It's, here he goes. He's alongside into the left-hander. Chris will have the inside of the slow right, and I think Watson's going to have to, just fold in behind.
Oof. Yeah, a little bit of a squeeze on the exit from Chris there, but he was far enough ahead that he could give that squeeze.
He had the right. I don't think at any point Watson fully got alongside him, so he sort of had his car about halfway alongside. So the corner's absolutely Chris's. But I think for the overtake, it's probably a matter of time here. But
every lap that Watson spends behind Chris is a lap that hits mediums are dying quicker.
Yeah. Oh, Watson hits the back of Chris. Come on, that's a little bit of a silly one. That one. Oh no, a Ferrari's round. Ozers is out. Ozers is out.
Oh my
From the
goodness.
lead of the race, he's lost it on the final corner by the looks of it, and he's out. And a safety car is out. Oh, Ozers. Oh, Ransdell, you might want to go and hide because Ransdell comes into the chat. Ozers leads. My goat's right there, and now Ozers has dropped it.
Too often you see this from Moses, particularly in XRS. There's lots of stories with an XRS where he's had really good positions and he's let the pressure get to him.
It's, I mean, unless there was a contact. I mean, Rapid was close to him, but I think he's just dropped it. As the tyres are beginning to wear a little bit. It is a corner where you can drop it, the final corner. So
that last corner, start your stint, you're barely lifting. If you lift it at all, if he's braced enough, and you think all that's happened, he's turned that car in. It's just got a bit of over rotation. He's put a swapper on. He's tried to steer out of the slide that he'll be in, and he's got it into the outside wall.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. The only other thing I can think of is that he's touched a curb with the full throttle down, and it's automatically spun it. But yeah, I think you're probably spot on.
Yeah,
there.
It will be the over rotation mid corner, whether he's touched that first apex a bit too much, or he's just tried to hold too much steering angle with too much throttle. Over rotation, tried to correct it, and he's gone into the far wall. It's something to be cautious of with wearing tyres, and he's not been cautious enough. I think it's pressure from Rapid, most likely, catching up to him, and he's let the pressure get to him.
And ultimately, that's good work from Rapid, because he's just put him under pressure constantly through the stint, and it's led to the mistake. So,
you know what's even more frustrating for me now, Hilly? It's either gone soft, hard, and my hard's been running out. I'm not going to come in for softs. I had a spare set.
Yeah,
I could have won this race.
Fallen into your hands. It would have certainly been coming into your hands. Well, unbelievably, right now it's looking like Gunnar is probably favourite.
My teammate there, Gregory, he's managed to get in a lap before everyone else. I don't know if that actually affects anyone, but he was far enough behind the incident that the safety car, and I think he was the first into the pits. So
yeah,
he's done well there to make a few jumps up.
Yeah, we got a few penalties have popped up, by the way. Chris, you naughty boy, you silly boy, on your birthday, you've picked up 10 seconds for crossing the pit exit line. Silly boy. A drive-through for Robin in the Haas, currently sat in P10 as well. D-Kit 10 seconds as well. So, despite it, well, it's not so bad having the 10 seconds for D-Kit because he can presumably, while trying to catch the safety car, he can just pit and get... Oh no, he's actually stuck in the pack, I've just realised. Well, there's nothing in the rules in WAOF1 about allowing someone to unlap themselves, so he's at the mercy of those ahead of him, and my suggestion is it's probably too many cars. If there's 1 or 2 cars, you might be lucky with who it is, and they might just go off the track a little bit to let you through.
And that's the other thing being at Singapore, is you can't just jump off the track and let someone through.
No, there's not many places to do it. Turn 6 is it? Going wide at turn 6 is probably a good place. You've got to be wary not to actually get yourself a penalty, because we just saw Robin get 3 seconds while the safety car was out. So Josh is in. So that's gonna drop him down behind James. I don't know if he's going to drop behind barrier. It's going to be tight, I think, on the exit. No, it's not actually, is it? Well, I don't know.
It's
Barry's way through.
Josh was having a good race there. He's pit a lap too late. He was having a good race. But as you mentioned a few laps ago, Chewbacca, look at him. He's got up to 4.
Up in P4, yeah. Is he still? He's on 1 tyres though now, isn't he?
We've not seen
he's
that.
not. Sorry,
no,
he's not. He's on 2 lap old softs. So
they must have caught the safety car, because Gregory and Chewbacca were the first ones in the pits. So they must have got an advantage by coming in that lap earlier than everyone else somehow. I'm not sure how. I don't think they would have caught the safety car, because Oz's is instant
crashed on the final corner. So yeah, it might have. The safety car might have beat the leaders out.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
I hadn't noticed it, but I think that I think you're right. That's what's happened. Rapid and Gunnar have been a bit lucky and gotten away with it, but Whale and Chris haven't.
Big winners there with Gregory and Chewbacca. That's impressive to have that state of mind where you're going, oh, safety car, quick, get in the pits, and they've come out tops there. They've won really well, jumping out the field like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 2 ways of looking at it. Obviously, if the safety car catches people out that are at the front, then obviously dive in. But if it doesn't, and you're just going to drive past the safety car, then you're better off doing the other lap and coming in. So, it's quick thinking, I think.
Yeah.
All fairness to them. And Gregory up to P3 now. When he'd spun while battling with Watson, he was down, I think, to P8 or 9, and sort of 7 or 8 seconds behind Watson then. So things were starting to look a bit down for him. Now he's on medium tyres, which, well, I don't know. One thing I will say though, Admiral, it's going to be a 3-lap race, maybe even a 2-lap race to the end of this Grand Prix. With everybody on fresh tyres, this could go absolutely manic.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think the ones to watch are, Chewbacca is going to be defending for his life. This is going to be likely his best result in WA if he holds on it. So he's going to be fighting for his life. Watson's going to get his elbows out and try and push forward. Wales going to want to push and reclaim the podium that he feels should be his. And, with James so far down, Gunnar is going to want to get that win to take hold of the title fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So a great opportunity for Gunnar. Despite Oz's retirement, still a chance for Ferrari to get decent points tonight with where Well is. The RB's in 8 and 13, so I assume because of our point system, the RBs will still gain again, but not by a huge amount.
There we go. It all comes down to, what we're going to get. 3 laps, because safety car's got to come in this lap, hasn't it? So it's going to come down to 3 laps of just pure racing. It's going to be all on fresh tyres. Gregory may be a slight disadvantage on those mediums with how long this safety car has stayed out. But there we go. Safety car in this lap. And this could get manic. And
Chewbacca, be careful. It's just a bit close to overtaking Gregory then. Just don't do anything silly. You don't want to get a penalty for something silly. So I'm trying to get some heat into the tyres. Now then, Rapid. Well, Rapid's job here really is to just try and get a good start and try and extend as much of the lead as he can to minimise the drop from the penalty. And he is off. Does anybody get a run? Yellow flags are out. I think that's the safety car glitch. Doesn't look like anybody's got a run down to turn 1 on anyone.
Well behaved.
You only ever really see a run into turn 1 after a safety car is somebody's pretty much been asleep, in all fairness, and been properly caught out, which is usually me, in all fairness.
All fairly well behaved, but Whale has already dropped off those first 4.
He has. Well, there is another thing that could come into play here. I mean, some of these guys that have gone onto softs, they presumably are worn softs. D-Kit gets 10 seconds for ignoring blue flags.
He was in the middle of the pack, wasn't he?
Yeah, don't see that very often.
I doubt they're on worn softs. You think the only dry session we had in quali was Q1, and some people didn't even use 2 sets of softs in that.
You're absolutely right. Of course, I'd forgotten about the wet quali. As Chris goes up the inside of Whale into the right hander, but you're right, Whale just seems to be struggling on the restart.
Very respectful from Whale there to give Chris that amount of room.
Yeah, and Watson follows it up by going around the outside of the right left chicane. I just wonder if it's put Whale on use. Okay, it wouldn't have. Oh! Who is that?
Who's that Alpine? Oh, is that D-Kit? That's D-Kit in the Alpine.
Right. He was further up the order than I realised then, because that was close to the front.
Well, as you said, under the safety car, D-Kit was in the middle of the pack, but despite being nearly a lap down, so
yeah,
that's why he's got all of the blue flag penalties.
Gunnar just got caught out a little bit by Rapid's braking there into turn 6 or 7, whichever that left-hander is, and just hit the back a little bit of the Alpine. Gregory, with those mediums just dropping off now 2 seconds down. Chewbacca in range. A Chewbacca podium is not out of the realms of possibility.
That will be very impressive for the pace he's shown this season. That is immense from him.
Yellow. Obviously said just D-Kit. I think it might be. I think he's just dropped to the back. So yeah, I think that was just D-Kit. I'm out of people's way. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. He's, I'm touching wood as I say this. As long as nothing happens, he's absolutely flying towards the driver of the day tonight. There's no. Oh, Rapid! What have you done? He spun Gunnar.
Oh, that's poor. That's poor.
Oh, that's not good at all. So Gunnar goes round, but look, your teammate leads the race.
Yeah.
Chewbacca is in P2, and it's the last lap.
This is. I mean, I know you want to give it to Chewbacca, but look at Craig. How has he got into first? He's shown top 5 pace, but that is unfortunate in some manner.
He's apart from the moment with the contact with Watson where he spun round, the rest of the race he's just got on with it, and he's just, which is after battle here at Singapore, just get on with it and stay out of trouble as best you can.
No, Gunnar, he's going to be fuming.
Yeah, I don't think Gunnar's going to be happy at all. First look at that. Obviously, bear in mind, as I always say to people, we react initially to what happens. We don't get the benefit of replays on comms, so it's not like being a steward where you can watch it as many times as you like. Oh, that's Rapid making a mistake out of the hairpin. That could leave him vulnerable here to Ryan. Rapid leaves him room on the inside, but Ryan chose not to go for it because he knows he's going to get DRS down the straight. Rapid's, oh my word, and Wells going to go past both of them.
Oh, Rapid
Well,
just
gets
coming
both
across
of
there.
them. Nicely done, but it's Gregory takes victory in Singapore. Gunnar nicks P2 off of Chewbacca, but Chewbacca on the podium. What a result! Whale did so well at the end there to nip past both of them to get P4. Ryan Air P5, Watson in 6, James back to P7 in the end to minimise the damage. Barry P8, great result for Barry. Rapid in the end with the penalty, of course, drops to P9. Chris P10. Wow, so much going on, but I don't think for a second we're going to consider not giving driver of the day to Chewbacca. With a gigantic shout out to Gregory as well, I think is the way I've got to. I can't not give Chewbacca driver of the day when he's on the podium, man. It's just...
Yeah, complete. I don't disagree with you. That you wanted 3 laps of madness after the safety car, and I think you got that. Intense racing with there's so many different things going on in so many different places, so many different stories, and then you have that small incident between Rapid and Gunnar. It opens up those podium places to let's be honest, 2 people who you wouldn't necessarily expect to be in those podium places. Immense.
Absolutely. I'm sure Gregory won't mind Chewbacca getting driver today. He's just won a race. He's going to be over the moon in a way. Go. I forgot where I got to now. I think it was Chris P10, Kevin 11, Boss Membrane 12, Josh in 13, Robin 14, D-Kit 15, and unfortunate for the 2 DNF Sozers and Admiral. Fastest lap of the race, 1:31.227 by Rapid. And I was just going to quickly go on the race director and scroll down.
Just while you're doing that, Hilly, just some late breaking news from Ozers. Apparently a back marker DNF'd him.
Oh, really?
I've got a message in the Discord chat that a back marker has just DNF'd him from the lead. So I don't know whether he's exaggerating what's happened there, or whether there was a serious incident going on with no ghosting in WAO, and there's been a back marker that's taken him out. But yeah, it looks like Ozers has been taken out from original. From what's been seen here, so
yeah,
it's a shame for him.
Absolutely. I've just read the message myself. Okay, so obviously we didn't realise that at the time, but
I don't want to say who it is, but there was a back marker in there causing some carnage towards the end that we saw.
Everybody knows who it was because there was only one back marker. So that was it was a lap down. So, but yeah, in a way, we'll leave that for because that's obviously going to be stuff that stewards look at and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think admins as well. So, okay. Well, first of all, Admiral, thank you very much for coming and joining me for the second half of the race. That was lovely having you.
Thank you.
Here's fingers crossed that it all goes much better next time for you. I never know what to say to people when something like that's just happened, but it's all I can. It happens sometimes. It's part of it, I think. It's just annoying when it does.
It happens sometimes. 10 minutes calm, pint of Guinness, and chatting to you has made it all better.
Oh, well, there we go. I'm glad. I would like to say I'm glad I could be of service, but something tells me it's the Guinness that's really. All right then. Well, thank you to everyone that's watched along with us, and thanks to everybody who watched the stream back. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to tune in on Thursday for the Thursday division with Gavin Bass. He's a brilliant commentator that's just joined us last week. So please, if you didn't see a stream last week, give that a watch if you can and come and join us. And then, of course, the Sunday division, we'll see Brian back on stream. So please join us for that one as well. I have nothing to do on Thursday, so maybe I'll join Gavin, or maybe I might put myself down to reserve. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, yeah, there we go. Other than that, good night, God bless, and I'll see you again soon.